Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins 0. In the last episode, Suzuha spent the night in the time machine alongside her father Daru, lamenting the fact that she was unable to get Rintaro to change his mind about going back to July 28th. Also, she revealed to Daru that in addition to the low fuel storage, the internal battery of the time machine is about to run out in 6 months, or faster if she jumps back in time 1 or 2 jumps. So basically that means Suzuha's window of opportunity when it comes to reaching Steins Gate is pretty low at this point. Meanwhile, on this lovely sunny afternoon, or Sunday afternoon I should say, Rintaro is currently escorting Maho, Hyajo and Amadeus Kurisu on a grand tour of Akihabara. There was a reason why I'd come with Maho to the computer parts shop. Dr. Leskinen and Maho were headed back to America in a few days. She was leaving soon, so she wanted me to show her around Akihabara like I'd promised. That's what her message had said. Yeah, with Leskinen and Maho departing Japan, they'll probably want to get all the information that Amadeus Kurisu has in her network regarding the conversations between Rintaro and Amadeus Kurisu. So we met in front of the station in the morning and I asked her where she wanted to go. This was the result. She wanted to visit the computer stores in Akihabara. Basically she is as much a PC enthusiast as Daru is. By the way, our first stop was Yodobashi and our second soft map. I'd already taken her to let me read that again. I'd already taken her to a lot of used PC and retro PC shops, tucked away in tiny alleys. Given her reaction to this particular series of stores, I would say so. Though it seems that she enjoyed making plastic models when she was a kid, which I believe is fairly relatable. Now, there should have been a tip that came up with plastic models, but I had to re-record the episode again because Bandicam, just blame Bandicam for everything. Plastic model. A kit made from plastic parts, put together by following a manual. So basically Lego connects building or mega blocks. Who remembers mega blocks? I certainly do. And Amadeus Kurisu was asking Maho if she ever made germanium radios. What's a germanium radio? It's not a radio made in Germany, and I didn't want to load. A radio that uses a germanium diode as a rectifier and requires no power supply. This term can also refer to the kits used to build them. Since they're simple enough for anyone to build, they're a common choice for elementary school summer break projects. Apparently Maho burnt herself soldering all the time, which is somewhat careless of you, not to mention dangerous. A mixture comprised mostly of lead and tin that is used to join metal components together. In other words, that's what soldering is, or solder is. I used to do that a very long time ago. and it would actually appear that the real Kurisu Makase is just as careless and clumsy as her erstwhile mentor. I'm glad that Maho and Amadeus Kurisu is having fun. Because as for Rintaro, he probably can't relate. Given the fact that he grew up watching cartoon Saturday morning superheroes and supervillains, that would certainly be the case. Probably not everybody. Actually, I assume it was a minority of people who sold it in their homes growing up. Could be right there, Rintaro. Probably because A, you didn't know about this place, and B, there is a you had a lot of work to do concerning Amadeus. Felt like she was never going to leave unless I dragged her out. I finally managed to succeed in getting her away from the part shop by telling her it was time to eat. Which is probably a good plan. We went out to the main road. This area was close to the station, so it was especially crowded. Thanks to the crowds of people waiting to cross the street, you couldn't even walk in a straight line. Yeah, the busiest metropolises all throughout Japan, they have lots and lots of people crossing, especially at intersections. Now then, where to eat? I'm pretty sure that Akihabara has more than its selection of eateries. My first idea was May Queen Yan Yan, but after the way Maho reacted last time, it was probably best to avoid it. I think the less time that Maho spends with Ferris, the better. Still, Sampo wasn't a good choice for someone new to Akihabara. Guessing that's the ramen shop that Daru and Rintaro frequent from time to time. Gansen? Or maybe Kitchen Jiro. Go-Go Curry would work too. Anyway, Go-Go Curry is a curry chain out of Kanazawa, Ishikawa. It has stores all over Japan, but primarily in the northern and eastern parts of the country. It offers Kanazawa curry, which is famous for its thick roux and katsu and cabbage on top. Wonder if they do, I wonder if they actually do, butter chicken, and I was looking for Kitchen Jiro and the tips there. I would have had it already, but, yeah, because I had to re-record this episode, that means I have to go look for it. Kitchen Jiro, a restaurant chain found in downtown Tokyo as well as Kansai. It has a popular combo menu that offers a large amount of delicious food. In addition to the restaurants, it also offers a delivery service, so you can probably order straight from the Future Gadget Laboratory then. Sounds like a pretty respectable restaurant. As I stood there thinking, apparently not something's called Maho's interests. Maho stopped moving in front of the arcade directly ahead of us. Is this the first time that you've ever seen an arcade? Well, given the fact that you've lived in America, I would certainly assume that that wasn't the case. Evidently, she was looking at the crane games on the first floor. Well, I don't see why not. If you're interested in the arcade, then be my guest. I nodded. Looks like we're going to the arcades then. Maho walked up to the crane game and pressed her face against the glass like a little kid. Probably a good idea not to say that out loud. Inside the glass were characters from 8-channel memes, all of different sizes. So they actually have at-channel emojis on stuffed toys here in this place. And there's a certain logo over there that looks like an S and an E. I don't know about you, but that could probably be a little reference to Sega there, hiding in the corner. And over on this corner, there are a whole bunch of Oopa plushies that if Mayushi was here, she would probably try to get them all. Maybe Maho was a secret ad channeler like Kurisu. Well, given the fact that they are very similar in terms of temperament and personality, that could very well be the case. They were pretty close, so it was possible. Let's give it a try and see if this works. I leaned over to Maho and whispered a magic spell into her ear.
Nurupo.
Hi.
Looks like that didn't work. If you remember from the Alpha World line in my Let's Play of Steins Gate, Rintaro tried this trick on Kurisu shortly after she vehemently denied that she was a serious ad channeler. Needless to say, that didn't work for the reasons that I'm going to explain right now from the tips. Because Nulpo is an old at-channel slang. It started on the programming board as a shortening of null pointer, and as of now has no meaning whatsoever. When someone says it, it's traditional for someone else to respond with ga, which is exactly what Kurisu Makase was how she responded on the Alpha World line. But since Maho didn't respond that way, she can't possibly be an at-channeler. I just confused her. She doesn't know what the memes are. Ask me what it means. Ask me what it means. Yeah, she doesn't get it. Probably best to let that matter drop for the time being. So it seems like Maho and Kurisu aren't exactly alike, it seems. And that's a rather conspicuous series of eclipses there from Amadeus Kurisu. I wonder. Amadeus Kurisu was glaring cold daggers at me from inside the smartphone, but I decided to ignore it. Maybe Amadeus Kurisu is a secret ad channeler.
Hiyajo-san, そのぬいぐるみ欲しいのか?
Seems that Maho really loves cute little stuffed animals. Or maybe she's just poking fun at Amadeus Kurisu. And Amadeus Kurisu is apparently flustered by Maho's response. If only you knew, Maho. If only you knew. We might even tell you. And Kurisu, Amadeus Kurisu dodges the question.
ちょっと意外だな。さっきパーツが好きって言ってたから、感性としては男に近いのかもって思ってた。
Not that there's anything wrong with liking crane games. Yeah, that thing that you just said about tact a second ago is, yeah. Let's just let that matter lie. But Maho doesn't seem particularly bothered by Rintaro's comment. I guess this is the moment where the street argo payback's a bitch comes back to the fore.
そうなのか。
Seems like Maho isn't letting this chance to get even with Amadeus Kurisu slip her by. Well, as the saying goes,
通販か何かでアメリカまで取り寄せてたのか。
as I was just about to say, as the saying goes, when you play with fire, you're bound to get burned. This applies of AI's Amadeus Kurisu.
別にどうだっていいでしょ。
The expression on your face belies the answer to the Rintaro's question, which I believe is yes.
さすが隠れアットチャンネラーだな。
Rintaro whispering conspiratorially to Maho, who probably doesn't even know what at channel is. Well, Maho Hyajo, prepare to witness a side of Kurisu Makase that you never knew existed.
何よ、アットチャンネラーって聞いたことない。
Although, for some reason, Amadeus Kurisu doesn't know what an at channeler is, surprisingly. So maybe we're wrong in our assumptions.
ヌルポ。
But apparently Rintaro is going to try his thought experiment again. And, almost on cue, Amadeus Kurisu responded in kind. Which means that Amadeus Kurisu is a secret ad channeler. Yeah. Looks like you've been busted, Amadeus Kurisu. Even as part of Amadeus, Kurisu hadn't changed a bit. Still an ad channeler.
ヒアジョさん、クリスはこれがなんていうキャラなのか教えてくれたか。
いいえ、何度か聞いてみたけど、永遠とはぐらかされたわ。
Funny that. Well, fortunately for you, we have the ability to give you the answer to that question.
だろうな。
But that sounds exactly like the Kurisu Makase that we know.
だからずっと気になっていたのよ。
Well, Amadeus Kurisu, it seems like Maho's curiosity rivals that of yours.
岡部さんは知っているの？
Indeed we do.
まあ。
And it seems that Amadeus Kurisu is incredibly mad at this point. A chill ran down my spine as I heard the angry voice from the smartphone. I think we've had our fun.
俺も知らないんだ。
Which is a lie, we know perfectly well, but unfortunately we'll get on the bad side of Amadeus Kurisu if we admit that much.
そう。
Maho seems somewhat disappointed by Rintaro's response. Sheesh. I defended your honor, Amadeus Kurisu. You better be grateful.
ちょっと挑戦していいかしら。
And it seems that Maho wants to try her luck with the crane game. I would be careful if I were you. These things are notoriously fickle. Maho took her wallet out of her pocket and put a 100 yen coin into the machine. And Kurisu is still grumpy.
このアームを左右と前後に操作してぬいぐるみをつかめばいいのね。
Seems that this is the first time that Maho has ever played a crane game.
もしかして初めてなのか。
真帆先輩はレースゲームしかやらないですもんね。
That's a interesting detail to let slip, Amadeus Kurisu.
ということ。
Though it seems in addition to being a PC enthusiast or a computer enthusiast, Maho is also a racing otaku, it seems. Maho nodded and pushed the control button, managing to move the arm directly over a target. She smiled, satisfied. Rintaro has a clear look of embarrassment on his face. Sorry.
簡単なものね。あとはアームが降りて勝手に掴んでくれるんでしょ。
Yeah, I'm afraid I hate to break it to you, Maho, but crane game is a little bit more complicated than
あ、い
that.
や、普通はそうなんだが。
You have to be incredibly precise with these things. There is an element of chance in this. The arm went straight for the doll, but the angle was slightly off, and it didn't grab it right.
おかしいわ。どういうことなの？
Yeah, you have to be incredibly precise in this sort of game. That's what happens your first time. Everyone falls the first time. Maho gave it several more tries, but didn't seem to get the hang of it. It seems that Maho, much like a certain assistant, is really does not like losing in the slightest. She groaned and took her last 300 yen to the back of the arcade. She walked over to a game with a red and white two-tone Formula 1 car on the side of the cabinet. She slid inside, still angry. Well, I suppose racing is a good way to work off stress, I suppose. I remember that one was a CG racing game based off of real circuits. Yes, what is it, Amadeus Kurisu?
なんだ？
I honestly have no response to that.
男らしさ？
先輩の代わりにあんたがぬいぐるみを手に入れなさいっていうこと。
Well, I suppose that doing so would make her feel a little better.
ああ、なるほど。
Not by a lot, given the fact that she's probably upset that she couldn't get it herself. And then give it to Maho was what she was trying to say. Manliness aside, after seeing how badly she wanted it, I did want to try and help her. I took some coins out of my pocket and checked how much money I was carrying. Okay, it's been a while, but let's try this.
とはいえ、俺もこういうゲームは得意じゃないんだが。
Yeah, one tends to burn through cash rather easily when it comes to these sorts of games. Even so, I was sure I could do a little bit better than Maho, but not by much. May as well give it a try. At least it will keep Amadeus Kurisu happy. And down goes the claw. I wonder if we'll get one of those space aliens from Toy Story. No. No dice. Yeah, it takes a lot of precision to do something like that. And it seems like Amadeus Kurisu is starting to get incredibly annoyed, thanks to the tick in her left eye. Fifth time's the charm, I suppose. And we just barely managed to get one, which is... I would definitely say that this is probably the fifth or sixth time. Nope, we dropped it. We dropped it. How humiliating, being shamed by an artificial intelligence. And so after trying several times... Okay, 10th time's the charm. There we go. After 10 tries, Whether it was luck or skill, I managed to get the stuffed animal a little bit easier than I expected.
よし
Yeah, that was embarrassing, to say the least. But we managed to get the toy. I wonder if they have stuffed Moogles. They probably don't. That would be a real shame. I stuffed it into the bag and went back to the racing game where Maho was playing. For some reason there was a crowd of 10 people around it. Looks like Maho is actually better at racing games than she let on. Apparently she's really good at racing games. The crowd seems particularly interested.
ありえないテクだぞ
She's not in elementary school.
これレコード出るんじゃね
Maybe she'll do much better than she did with the crane game. The crowd was whispering to one another. All of them seemed to be amazed. I made my way into the crowd and looked at the screen. The game Maho was playing was one of those where you had to clear each stage in a set time, or else it would be game over. So, time lap then. With each race, the course got more and more difficult. And she was placing first with every time with these. I wonder how many hours she spent playing Gran Turismo. As the crowd watched in awe, she finally made it to the end of the last stage, well ahead of the other racers, and she set a new record to boot. Well, it seems that Maho is feeling a little less depressed. She had a satisfied smile on her face as she looked at the flashy congratulations graphic on the end screen. Then she noticed the crowd around her and her body jerked.
おめでとうございます当店のベストレコードです
That's good news and bad news at the same time. An arcade employee walked over to Maho and started to clap. Then the crowd started to clap as well.
あ
Yeah, that's what happens when you beat an arcade game in a store with absolute ease. Maho's face went beet red. I should probably step in and help her at this point. I pushed my way through the crowd and grabbed her hand to pull her up.
行こう
Yeah, let's get out of here before the crowd crowds in.
はい
I'd never seen her this obedient before, probably because she's not used to being crowded by so many people. And she'll be even more happy when she realizes that we have the stuffed animal that she's been wanting. We made our way through the hustle and bustle and finally got out of the arcade. Maho sighed in relief.
うかつだったわ
Indeed, but you did set a incredible world record in that racing
何
game.
が
つい熱くなってしまって本気を出してしまったの
You got mad at the crane game and serious at the racing game,
これのせいか
all because of a stuffed animal. I handed her the bag with my prize in it. Now it's your prize.
何
She opened the bag and took out the stuffed animal. Consider it a trophy for winning the racing game.
これ取れたの
It took about 10 or 12 tries, but we managed it.
君にプレゼントするよ
And also consider it a kind of as a farewell gift for when you return to America.
俺が持ってても仕方ない
Yeah, we have no need of a stuffed plushie.
そうじゃあ遠慮なくいただくわ
Maho really wants the toy, but is having a hard time sort sort of articulating so, for obvious reasons. But Maho is happy again, which is always good. Maho hugged the doll tight to her chest with the innocent smile of a child. Seeing how happy she was made me happy too, and probably Amadeus Kurisu as
クリ
well.
スが亡くなった後ね、お母さんから形見をいろいろともらったわ。
Ah, Kurisu's mother. I'd forgotten about that. Sorry, I just had to turn the microphone off before I
これは
sneezed.
クリスがとても可愛がっていたからってお母さん自分のベッドルームに飾っていたのよ。
So apparently Kurisu had something that her mother knew that she loved. And I wonder how Amadeus Kurisu will react to this new bit of information. If you didn't know what it was from an at channel meme, it was actually pretty cute. I could see her keeping it as a memory of her daughter.
だけどクリスの実家がね、ああいうことになってぬいぐるみも燃えてしまったと思うの、きっと。
So that's probably the real reason why Maho wanted that stuffed toy to begin with, is because it was a memory of Kurisu Makase.
先輩。だからこれはアメリカのお母さんにプレゼントしていいかしら。
There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't.
もちろん喜んでもらえるならそれが一番いい。
That is indeed probably for the best.
ありがとう。
And Amadeus Kurisu was slightly embarrassed by this turn of events.
さてと次はどうする？他に見てみたいところはあるか？
Well, that was the arcade.
と言ってもアニメやゲームのショップなんかは興味ないよな。
On with the tour, and I don't think that Maho would be interested. Amadeus Kurisu might be, but not Maho. Yeah, the expression on Maho's face tells me everything I need to know.
クリス、悪いけどしばらく岡部さんと二人きりにしてくれる？
And apparently Maho wants to talk to Rintaro without Amadeus Kurisu listening in.
先輩、ついに自分の気持ちに素直になることにしたんですね。
I don't think that's what she was implying, Amadeus Kurisu.
岡部、ちゃんとしなさいよ。
は
先輩、頑張って。それじゃ。
And cue the awkwardness once again. Hopefully it's short-lived. Disconnected.
ヒヤジョーさん
I think Maho is very serious in this.
行きたい場所、もう一つあるんだけれど。
But there's one more place that Maho wants to visit in Akihabara.
どこだ？
Is it some place she didn't want Kurisu knowing about?
あそこよ。わかるでしょ？
Not really, from the vague hinting, which is incredibly vague. The smile was gone from Maho's face. She looked like she'd come to some kind of decision. And then I realized where she wanted to go.
ラジカンに連れて行って。
The radio building. So Maho Hyajo wants to visit the very place where Kurisu Makase was murdered. On the 8th floor, no less. Murdered by none other than the man standing before her. Rintaro Okabe. It was unintentional, but it happened due to world line convergence. But even if Rintaro hadn't killed her, Kurisu's father, Dr. Nakabashi, certainly would have. The radio building. And she wanted me to take her there. I understood immediately. Of course, standing in that corridor will only cause the flashbacks to be even more intense, and bring you to the point of pushing you past your limits, because that is where Kurisu Makase had died. But off to the radio building we go. And of course, well, the satellite is, the time machine is still up there, albeit slightly out of the way so that nobody can see it from this angle. But in the Alpha World line, Suzuha's satellite was embedded right in the center of the entrance of the radio building, because the technology was slightly flawed in the Alpha World line. I'd gone up to the roof several times since then. The time machine was there, and Suzuha and Daru would go up once in a while to do maintenance. Just a few days ago, Suzuha had called me out there and pointed a gun to my face. But even so, I'd never been to that storeroom on the 8th floor where it happened. I couldn't bring myself to do it. But thou must. Just remembering what happened was enough to cause a severe flashback. There was no way I could visit the site of her death.
大丈夫。ずいぶん顔色が悪いけれど。
Suppose we have no choice but to work through the pain. And incredibly painful this will be.
クリスのこと思い出してしまうの。
More than you could ever imagine, Maho Hyajo.
そうだろうな。
Because, Rintaro, on the first time he met Kurisu on July 28th, he was the first one who discovered the body of Kurisu Makase.
辛いならついてこなくてもいいわ。私一人で行くから。
Appears that it seems that Maho is okay with Rintaro not visiting the site where Kurisu was murdered, but it seems to me that Rintaro is probably going to have to face his past sooner or later. But her face was colorless. Going there had to be hard on her too. But even so, she was trying to come to grips with Kurisu's death. I wanted to help her remember our friend. The radio building was going to be renovated. There wasn't a lot of time, so they're going to redo the interior of the whole building.
いや、一緒に行くよ。
Seems that Rintaro has finally gathered up some, if not all, of his resolve. To face his past one more time. Half the shops had already been moved to another building to make way for the renovation, and we are currently on the 7th floor, where Rintaro managed to get a metal ooper from one of these vending machines for Mayushi, who sadly dropped the metal ooper, which was then picked up by Kurisu Makase and put into the envelope containing her theory on time travel. An envelope that was later taken by Dr. Nakabashi when he fled to seek asylum in Russia. And due to the metal ooper, Dr. Nakabashi was able to spare his papers from getting destroyed on a plane crash due to a metal detector. Well, the plane didn't crash, but a fire happened on the plane, And if that metal detector hadn't been set off, then Kurisu's time theory papers would have gone up in smoke. But that's not what happened in this worldline at all. Anyway, I believe that is it for this episode of Let's Play Steins Gate 0, and when we return, adventurers, we shall see whether or not Rintaro Okabe has finally gathered the courage he needs to finally step onto the 8th floor of the radio building, where this all began. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.